Now we're going to do moving mean smoothing with even numbers, which means we need to do a thing called centering. Okay, so when you've got this 2, it does cause you a few problems, because if you look at the first two data points, 1 and 2, this is the purple we're looking at, the middle of that is 1.5, and 1.5 doesn't exist. There's no 1.5 in our data. We can't just make up points. So we're going to take the average of these first two, and that gives us 50.5. And then we're going to move down and get the next two. Okay, and that's the blue, and we average those. And so we then take an average of the averages. This is this pink writing. So the pink writing, it is centered on 2. So we don't have a data point like we do. Now the problem with 2 mean smoothing is that the middle of 2 is 1.5. So if you look at these purple numbers, what I've done is I've averaged the numbers 56 and 45, which is this calculation over here, and that got us to the 50.5. And then the next stage is you actually look at the next two numbers. This is the blue writing. If you look at the blue writing now, we're actually averaging these two, and their average is at the 2.5 mark. And if we do that, we get 40.5. Now, if we then center these by taking the average of these two numbers, we get our new number 45.5. And again, we have lost a data point. It can be quite hard to see where that is, but if you think about it, we were at 1.5 for this one and 2.5 for this one, and the average of that would be 2.0, okay? Because we've averaged the averages. That's what we mean by centering. And I've sort of done it over here. This is the 2A, which is the first set of numbers, and then there's 2B, which is the second lot of numbers. That's the light blue numbers, and then that is your pink numbers. But we're going to show you a formula later that might help you do this quicker rather than having to do 3 columns. But it can be a little bit confusing and takes a bit of practice. Again, because this is moving mean, we have now moved down one, so the purples are now averaging here and the blues are averaging here, and so again we average the average of those two numbers to get our next data point, which is 40. So we're moving our way down here. You'll notice that this 36 appears twice because it's in both of those formulas. We'll get to that in a minute. And just to label the point, again, we've got these purple numbers, which are there, and that gives us 39.5. And we've got our blue numbers, which gets us 46.5. And if we average those two numbers, we get 43, which is centered on the number 4, which is an actual number down here. So that's important why we're doing this centering. And again, through the magic of editing, we've lost a data point here, we've lost a data point here, so it's still lossy. And we've been able to plot all that, and we've now got 2 mean smoothing with centering, because you have to center whenever you have an even number like 2. Now, if you take these numbers and you have a look at them, you can see that this 37 appears twice. And this is so you can imagine like you're taking a number plus that number twice plus the number at the end there. So that's for this last one, which we're working at 36, we did 29 plus 37 plus 37 plus 41, and we divided it by 2 and then divided by 2 again, which is the same as dividing by 4. So you can think of this as being a formula that if you were to start up here to get this 45.5, you'd do B1 plus B2 plus B2 plus B3, and you could fill that down. In this case, for that last data point, that would then get you 36. So that can be a lot of help, is just knowing for 2 mean smoothing, you can just use that formula and fill it down, remembering to stick it in the right spot because you've lost a data point there. And you might even think about it as being B1 plus 2B2 plus B3 all over 4 if you want to get even more fancy. But wait, you can do 4 mean smoothing. with centering. And annoying it may sound, some of the past exams have gone to 6 and 8. I know, isn't that fun? So similar formula, but remember the middle ones. Can you see like this number, this number, this number, which would be B2, 3, and 4 on your formula, are in the blue and the purple. That's why they're listed twice. So we've got 2 lots of B2, 2 lots of B3, 2 lots of B4, but we only need 1 of B1 and 1 of B5. And then we're doing divide by 4 twice. That's just why it's divide by 8, because if you've got 8 numbers altogether in there when you're averaging. And that would be 4 mean smoothing with centering. Again, you might just want to like write down a formula like that. And remember, you're skipping the first 2 data points, and you're going to be lossy again. And here it is, 4 mean smoothing with centering. I'm going to talk about the fact that like this graph looks pretty smooth, doesn't it? If you follow that, we've definitely removed any seasonality. There's no real peaks or troughs at all in the data. And that was because the seasonality was every 4. And so if it's every 4 and we used 4, that's the best one to do. So if we compare, we got 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here. You can definitely see that the 4 worked out the best. Even the 5's still got some more wobbles than the 4. So it's like it's in harmony because the peaks were every 4. And so if you do 4 mean smoothing, that's the one to do.